Shabbat Shalom. What a week this has been. A week that's felt like a decade. In some ways, I think this has brought out the best in us. The artists who have shared their work with the world. The people who have stepped up to do what they can, when they can, where they can. The healthcare workers. My sister is a nurse in Seattle, of all places, and my brother-in-law in California, he's a doctor. The people who run into the fire to keep us safe. But I think it's also at times brought out the worst. I know I have been on edge. I found myself snapping at my kids when what I really felt like doing was some combination of crying and hugging and screaming. I find myself angry at Karen when really I am just angry at this world. I find myself endlessly refreshing the coronavirus page, the tracker at Hopkins, like somehow if I refresh it enough, eventually it will say that there are enough ventilators. That eventually it will say I don't need to be worried about my sister, about my dad, about myself. It's like I've convinced myself that if I just read the news enough, eventually there will be a miracle that will make this all right. But we all know that that's not how this works, that refreshing the news is not going to get us any closer. And so I invite us to make this a Shabbos apart. A Shabbos apart from all of that. A day apart from the schmutz and the heaviness and the insanity, as much as we can, I guess. A day to be present in our relationships. A day to tell the people that we love them. And to treat each other with the kindness that we all need right now. A day to not refresh the news, at least not refresh the news constantly. A day not to be focused on the brokenness, but to be present for the beauty where we can find it. The mystics of Tzfat some 500 years ago, people who were refugees, and the children of refugees and the grandchildren of refugees, people who, God knows, knew what it was like to live with fear. Every week on Shabbos, or as Shabbos was going to come in, they would go and they would dress all in white and they would greet Shabbat like a bride. They did this so that we had this idea that there's an extra soul that we get on Shabbos, is what they taught. An extra soul, so that we all know that we are never truly alone. And so I invite all of us to welcome Shabbos this week with their words, Lecha Dodi. Ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likras kala, ya la 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 pnei Shabbat nikabela. Shamo v'zachor v'dibur echad hishmianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shemo tiferet v'litchila. Ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likras kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נהסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. יא לה לה יא לה 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 לך דודי, יא לה 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 לקרס קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי לאיך נגלה יאללה לה 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 לך דודי יאללה לה 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 לקראת סקלה יאללה לה 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 פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום התרבלה גם בשמחה וצהלה תוך אמונה עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה יאללה יאללה לה 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 לך דודי יאללה לה 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 לקראת סקלה יאללה לה 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 פני שבת נקבלה Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Everybody ready? Got your candles? Got your matches? When we're done, will you post some pictures of you lighting your candles on the CRC online oneg? We can see you all. I miss you so much. We all miss you so much. Spread that light everywhere, because we really need it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshon b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat v'tzivonu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
So we join together in the Baruch Hu. And, okay, kids, what direction do we normally face?
East.
East. Someone pointed out, though, at family services a few weeks ago that if everyone around the world is facing east, then we're really just facing each other. So if you want to rise, if you're able to rise, please rise, and hopefully you can face each other and join us in the Baruch Hu.
Will you stand up and will you be our Baruch Hu leaders? Come in. Ready? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא לא תוסף אלה, מלאכותך ובניך, בו קיים לפני משה. זה אלי, זה אלי, זה אלי, זה אלי, זה אלי, זה אלי, זה אלינו ואמרו. אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Adonai yimloch, Adonai yimloch, Adonai yimloch leolam voed, leolam voed, voed v'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov u'go'alo miyad chazak mimenu. As you redeemed Jacob and saved him from arms that were stronger than his own, so may you redeem all who are oppressed and persecuted. Baruch atah Adonai, Ka'al Yisrael. Then Miriam HaNeviah took a drum in her hand, and we all followed her with drums and dancing. And Miriam, the prophetess, chanted with us, Shiru le'Adonai ki ga'o ga'al, Shiru le'Adonai ki ga'o ga'al, Shiru le'Adonai ki ga'o ga'al, Shiru le'Adonai. Sus v'rochvo rama v'yam, sus v'rochvo rama v'yam, Shiru le'Adonai, sing to God, ki ga'o ga'al, sus v'rochvo rama v'yam. Every action that changes the world comes out of a we, and it comes out of a me. So it is at the sea. Someone had to walk out alone into that water. When the water reached his neck, the sea parted. Then the we took over. We all followed with songs and singing. Sometimes you have to go to that freedom place alone. that everybody comes running after you, reminding you that it was their idea to go there in the first place. We remember that every time we sing Micha Mocha, the song at the sea, the song that we sang when we passed through the sea.
This peace prayer that's only sung in the evening time, the night time. Hashkivenu, to lie down to sleep. We pray in peace with peace. And though we are all sheltering in place, this prayer reminds us that what's ultimately important is that our shelters all are places of peace, that we shelter not only in place, but we shelter in peace. And as we begin the book of Leviticus, that tells us about the ancient system of sacrificial offerings that our ancestors felt was the way to please the universe, we are reminded that sacrifice is still very much part of our lives, not the kind of sacrifice practiced in the Torah, but the sacrifice that's giving up something dear and something precious for a greater good. And there was a lot of sacrifice going on. People sacrificing their health and their lives, people going to work because they have to, they can't stay in their homes. Healthcare workers with courage and with determination and wanting to save lives, incredible sacrifices. People that are caregivers and those that are sick with the virus. Keep all of us that are making these sacrifices, sacrificing the regularity, the normalcy of our lives. We have to hold everyone in our prayers. Those that are sacrificing and those that are vulnerable, those that were vulnerable even before this crisis. We are not alone. We have to believe that together we have hope, even in the midst of great challenge and great sadness and great difficulty. We pray for the ultimate shelter, the earth, our shared home, with that strange byproduct of reduced human activity that is cleaning our waters a little bit more and our air, and so somehow we have to figure out when we come through this crisis, maybe how to continue on with our lives, but also to tend better, to care more for our earth, which is truly the shelter for all of us. So let's pray together, let's join together, let's sing together. Though we miss each other, we are not alone. Take this soul, living in my skin and bones. Take this soul and let it sing. Yahweh, Yahweh, always pain before a child is born. Yahweh, it's always dark before the dawn. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamivenu Shomreinu L'chaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. Allow us to lie and rise in peace. Let us go to sleep with peace so we can wake up to life, to each other and to nature, to the challenges but also to the joys and blessings. Allow us to lie and rise in peace. Shalom. Allow us to lie and rise in peace. Shalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. So this next part, this part that we borrowed from Bob Marley, sometimes it's easier to sing this part than other times, and this is a tough time to sing this part of the prayer. But maybe because it's so hard, we have to do it. We have to summon up all of our faith and all of our hope. We have to believe that everything's going to be all right, and though we're facing great loss, material loss and financial loss and loss of many things we hold dear and loss of lives, we have to believe that we're doing the right thing for the greater good. We have to believe that we will emerge and emerge stronger and more united and more loving. And so we take a deep breath. For you and for those you love and for the whole wide world. Here we go. Everything's gonna be alright. 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 Ufros aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot Shlomecha. Ufros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, and cover over us tonight with a Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace for you, for those you love, a shelter of peace over the hospitals tonight, over the homes of people who are sick and the people that are caring for them, a shelter of peace over people who, even during this time of everybody seeking shelter, are homeless. Shelter of peace for those who are in mourning and don't have a community to mourn with them. Shelter of peace to those who feel marginalized. A shelter of peace for the vulnerable, which tonight is all of us, every single one of us. So we have to pray so big that we don't leave anybody out. Peace for you and those you love, and for everyone and everything that dwells on earth, which is the home we all share. Pray for peace, for strength, for courage, for goodness, for love, for compassion, for healing, for renewal, for life, for shalom. Amen. Shalom. Peace.
Havaya Sifatai Tiftach Ufi Yagi Tehillah prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Asuli Mikdash Veshachanti Betocham Ve'anachnu Nevarech Yah Me'ata Me'ad Olam Sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha havaya. Sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Shabbat Shalom, CRC. I miss you and I love you to life.
And so, starting on page 24, we will chant the first two blessings of the Amidah in preparation for the Kedusha. And so, if you will, let's sing together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chazdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevei Gula Livnei V'Nehem, L'Ma'an Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Together on page 25. Praise be the God of our ancestors, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, of Sarah, of Rebekah, of Leah, and of Rachel, of Bilhah, and of Zilpah. Praise be the source of strength and courage, the source of kindness and good deeds. Praise be the source of gentleness and love, of softness and kind words. Praise be the person who transcends strength through gentleness. Praise be the person who perfects gentleness through strength. Praise be the person who acts according to the best that is within. Praise be the person who reaches out to touch the best in others. Praise be the gentle faithfulness of Abraham and the valiant strength of Sarah. Praise be the God who infused humanity with divine potential. And now for strength on page 26, and surely this is a time we all need strength. Each of us needs strength, and we as a community, a world community, need spiritual strength. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol atah rav lahoshia, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato לשני afar, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדור מלך, מלך במית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. From Michael and Marty in Philadelphia. We're holding all of you in the light and love. Our minds are on healing and wholeness and holiness, the Kedusha. Nekadesh Shimcha Ba'olam, Kashem Shema Tashimo Tobish Memorum, Kakatova Yanavieka, Ekirazes Ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sevaot, Meloch haaretz kevodo. Adir, Adirenu Adonai, Adonenu Madir, Shimcha b'kol haaretz. Baruch kevod Adonai minkomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu Malkeinu, hu Moshiach v'hu Yashmienu, berachamav le'necho chai. Ani Adonai Elohim, Yimlok Adonai le'olam, Elohai Yitzion, L'dor v'dor. Hallelujah. L'dor v'dor nagid godlecha, u'nitzach nitzachim kedushacha naqdish, v'shivchacha Eloheinu mimenu yamush, le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Ahel HaKadosh.
On this Friday evening, we take a moment for a Misha Berach, a blessing of healing. Source of healing, cast the light of health and well-being on those who have been exposed to coronavirus, those who have contracted the disease, those who are helping us in our fight, and those, God forbid, who contract the disease in the future. Bless them, protect them, and bring them speedily to full recovery. Bless all who are ill, with healing of body, healing of soul, and healing of spirit. Baruch atah Adonai Mekor Chayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of life. I have a few names: Meredith Pritchett, Elaine Thornton, Rick Hack, Gail Rock, Maura Maxine and her family, and the Hyman family.
Sheberach avotenu mekor habrecha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. It's good to be with all of you as we welcome Shabbat on the new moon of Nisan. I love the new moon with all its potential for growth and change and transformation, knowing that from now until the full moon, we will, come to Passover. The full moon of Passover with its brightness will hopefully illuminate the way forward and give us those important lessons that we need. The new moon also reminds me of a time when, when women were so close that we would cycle together, and at the new moon we would separate ourselves. And as lonely as it might be from our families, we would separate ourselves and try to use that time as time for reflection and for a different kind of community. As I said, the new moon of Nisan will bring Passover. And on the second night of Passover at midnight, we will begin the Omer. The Omer is a time of counting that will take us from liberation to revelation, from having the chutzpah to be unstuck and free to the revelation of Torah, our guide to creating a just and peaceful world, not just with her teachings, but with her stories that challenge us, because none of the people in Torah are perfect, not even Moses. It's our guide to creating a just and peaceful world, a comprehensive guide to living an ethical life, and it gives us a formula for change. But this journey takes time. We intentionally count every day of the Omer, the 7 weeks of 7 days that follow Pesach, and on the 50th day we arrive at Sinai, the mystical mountain that connects the heaven and the earth, the very place that Moses sees God face to face and teaches us that we too can see godliness and goodness, panim el panim, in each other's faces. This week we also begin the book of Leviticus, Vayikra, from the verb to call. Not God said, as we often read, but God called. There is nothing passive about a calling. And there is nothing passive about the book of Leviticus. In this book, we are called to be a holy people, a moral people who promise to never do to others what was done to us, who promise to love the stranger, who promise to level the playing field for all humanity, and who are called to honor and bless and protect creation, the planet. And the toolbox we are given to make sure we get it right is sacrifice, chorbon. From the Hebrew word to draw close. We learn that making sacrifices for the common good draws us closer to God and closer to each other. This is the antidote to alienation and loneliness. I've been wondering how this can help us get through this time that many of us are being asked to stay home and slow the spread. How these teachings can help those who must go out because they are providing our essential services stay safe. Can we see godliness in the faces of loved ones over Zoom or FaceTime and behind those masks? Will we have the desire and the drive to still have a Passover Seder, to count each day of the Omer, to climb the mystical mountain with Moses if our need to keep our distances and stay home and slow the spread continues for weeks, maybe even months more? One of the main symbols of Passover is the Pesach, right? The sacrifice. The lamb that was offered by Abraham instead of his son. The lamb that gave us her blood to put on the doorposts of our homes to protect us from the angel of death during the last of the plagues. And Rashi asks, why Pesach? Why Pesach? Because the angel, Pasach, jumped over our homes. And God also, Pasach, leaped or jumped in and out of our story. So we learn that we too need to leap and jump, even when we least feel like it. Pesach, the sacrifice, challenges us to leap and jump to get closer to godliness, closer, even closer to each other. Because the life of the Spirit requires us to jump over our limitations, over our fears, over our disappointments, to leap and jump to higher awareness. Vayikra, like Moses, we are being called. We are called to jump into this story. In Mitzrayim, we were feeling far away, isolated, but we knew that there would be a journey and an end to the journey eventually, a promised land, where we would be better because of the lessons that we learned. Maybe lessons this time from systems that have failed us, from the things that we could have done better to prepare. And this is the secret of the sacrifice, the secret of the Paschal Lamb, the Pesach. We learned that the near and the far are one and the same. So we sacrificed our aloneness and we offered up our distance with the Pesach. And the fragrance rose up and drew godliness right back into the story and drew us right back into the story as well. And we found ways across the divides to draw godliness in and fill the spaces between us, keeping us safe in the places we must work and keeping us connected from home to home, finding ways to offer up our time and our resources and our creativity and our compassion to each other and to the most vulnerable, with our Instacart groceries and our mask sewing for our healthcare workers and our compassion for those who might be home alone and afraid. As the moon grows brighter in the Nisan sky, let us count these days from the new moon of Nisan to Pesach, and then from Pesach every day through the Omer together. And let us make each day count. Let us draw godliness back into the story with our sacrifice, our offerings that will draw the upper and the lower worlds closer even as we keep our distances from each other. This time will pass. It will. And when we come to the other side, I pray that we are able to say that Vayikra, when we were called to respond with holiness, with sacrifice, and with meaning, we jumped in and drew the whole world closer to the Torah's vision of a just and peaceful and safe and healthy world for all. I love you all. Shabbat Shalom. And Rosh Chodesh Nisan Tov, a good new moon. May this moon take us to a time that makes us proud of ourselves, of our families, of our community, and God willing, for all humanity. Amen.
And so we always reserve time in our service at the very end for remembrance, to remember loved ones who we've lost, to honor their memories, to say their names. This is, of course, a very difficult time for mourners, because mourning it should be about community and about family and about being together and about support. And in these days of social distancing, we're limited in what we can do for people who are mourning loss. And so we try to create a virtual community. And if you're out there and you're mourning a loss, please know that we are here. We might not be right there physically with you, but we are truly connected and we care. And we know how difficult it is in any circumstance to have a loss, but especially so in these days of not being able to come together the way we normally do. And so I'd like to take some time and read some names of some of the recent deaths in our community, and also some names of people who died this time of year in years past, the anniversary of their death, called Yartzeit. And then I'll give everyone some time at their homes, watching wherever you're watching, to say the name of a loved one, that maybe a name that wasn't said, and then we'll say the Mourner's Kaddish together. And so we are remembering as a community, most recently, Sanford Goldman. Sanford is the father of our wonderful Director of Lifelong Learning, Maxine Weil, and we are mourning him with the rest of our CRC community, and sending our love to Maxine and her family. We're remembering Ann Erke, who was the sister-in-law of Rhea Elbaum. We're remembering our friend Debbie Siegel and Joanne Haney, the aunt of Debbie Purvis. We're remembering Bernard Nunley, Cheryl Lyons' father, and Monty Ross, Raya Ross Peterson's father, and Mark's father-in-law, and Jake's grandfather. We're remembering John Isaacs, the father of Debbie Kaminer, and Don Simmons Sr., the father of our member Don Simmons. Robert Temko, the father of Ezra and the grandfather of Lev. Dr. Elliot Gelman, the father of Allison Creighton, and Gloria Serrata, who was Steve Arnold, one of our Friday night regulars, Steve's friends, dear friend, who turns out was friends with many people in St. Louis. When I visited her at the hospital in her last days, there was a line at the door for people to visit with Gloria. For Bruce Rosen, the father of Diane Rosen Balber. For Marilyn Corley, the mother of David Corley. For Evelyn Goldberg, the mother of Miriam Wilhelm. And for Leonard Kaminer, Craig Kaminer's father, and Craig and Debbie both lost fathers in just a few months' time. And so our hearts go out to the Kaminer family and their extended family. Aaron Corson, who was a really dear friend of mine, who died way too young, and thinking about him. And for Robert Wolfsey, who was Dan Wolfsey's father, Carol's father-in-law. And then members of CRC who've died in this past year, including Tom Trieger and Suzanne Glazer, and George Lamb, who was Barb Goldman's father, and Mel's father-in-law, and Erica Zoll's grandpa. For Jim Mills, Michelle Mills's husband and the father of Maddie, Abby, and Izzy, and Larry Raskin, the husband of Miriam Raskin, our dear member. Michael Steinbaum, also a friend of mine and a friend to many, and the husband of Deb Dubin and Max and Charlie's dad. For Barry Wilson, who was the husband of Anita, and Richard Lynch, who was the husband of Sue. And on their yard sites, we are also remembering Ray Roggins, who was Bunny Shopper's mother, and Eleanor Collinger. This is the 10-year yard site of Lainey Neiman's mother, Eleanor. For Anatole Tamsky, the mother of Morris, or Moisha Tamsky. Morris was born in Cuba, spent his boyhood in Cuba. Joanne Kerman, the mother of Cynthia, and Robert Koski, the uncle of both Terry Stern and Trip Stern. And Robert was in St. Louis for the last weeks of his life, and Terry and Trip called me, and I developed a relationship with Robert, visited him often before he died, and I think of him a lot, and sending our love to the extended Stern family. For Mickey Rosen, Leo Rosen's father, and Mickey, many of us who go every year to the Dr. King observance at the old courthouse in the downtown St. Louis. All you had to do was look up year after year after year, and there was Mickey on the upper tier, looking down, so proud of his city, of coming together of all races and religions and cultures to honor Dr. King. And so some amazing, wonderful people that we're thinking of. Of course, we're remembering all those who have died already, the thousands who have died of COVID-19, and people who have died of all diseases, but also people who have died of violence. The kind of deaths that we hope to reduce dramatically if we build a more peaceful society. And so we keep them all in our hearts, and I'm going to ask now just for a couple of moments of silence while we allow all of you, wherever you are, to say names of loved ones. And then the Kaddish is on pages 41 and 42, our prayer to bring those who we've loved and lost right here in our midst, as if they are standing with us, saying Kaddish together with us. So please take some time and think of the people that you remember at times like these. Remembering my father-in-law, Nora Gordon, Amy's dad, Gabe and Zoe's Zadie, still in our year of mourning for him as well. And so we say together, Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra kirotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'galalu v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei omaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitchomam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithalei v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiram be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlam Rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens make peace for us here on earth, especially those of us who are mourning the loss, the death of loved ones. And let us say again, amen, and sing that last line of the prayer, another prayer for peace. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imru, ve'imru, amen. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Zichronam levracha, may all of their memories forever and ever be a blessing. Amen. And so we may be physically distancing, but we are socially connected. And so we end our service with words of blessing that can be found on page 100. We say together, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you always. May you have what you need, your material needs, and your physical needs, and your spiritual needs.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
And may you take some of the light that you felt on this Shabbat and some of the beauty from the warmth outside, and may it bring you peace.
Yis Adonai panav elecha, ve'asem lecha shalom. And may all that is good and high and holy give us patience, so that we can know shalom, real peace in our hearts, our homes, our communities, and God willing soon. May there be peace and healing and hope and health for all. As we say to each other, Amen, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, CRC. It's good to be with you, even in this remote way, to celebrate Shabbat together. Debbie and I are almost always inside this condo of ours, except for times when we are going out for walks, or, get this, at 7 a.m., Monday through Friday, the Whole Foods, that's 3 blocks from our house, has senior hour, where if you're over 60, you get to go practice social distancing and you get a jump on the food that they have on that day. So, except for senior hour and some walks in the neighborhood, we are in this space. I'm doing all my therapy sessions on Zoom or FaceTime. We are not seeing our grandchildren at all. And even our almost 9-year-old granddaughter, Ava, said recently, Zeta, when are we going to see you in person? it's really quite a challenge. It says in Pirkei Avot, Al tifrosh min hatzibur. Don't separate yourself from the community. Don't separate yourself from the community. And yet, we're getting clear directives from our governments to do just that, to separate ourselves from the community. So how do we adhere to what the government is asking us to do? To separate ourselves. And what Jewish tradition asks of us, which is to find ways to be connected to one another. How do we stay inside and still be connected? Shalom Aleichem gives us a way to do that. Shalom Aleichem, peace to you. If we were in person with one another, at this moment we would be greeting each other with Shalom Aleichem, and you'd respond with Aleichem Shalom. Peace to you, and also peace back to you. We would do that if we were in the same space. But during these times, we can't do it quite so literally. We do it in this way. And in these scary times, there's not just this Shalom Aleichem that we're going to sing in a few minutes. There's a greater Shalom Aleichem. A greater Shalom Aleichem than the one in this moment. The greater Shalom Aleichem is the one that happens later, tomorrow, the next day, the day after that, the week after that, the month after that. The greater Shalom Aleichem is our reaching out to one another, to those we love, to keep our connections alive. Why? Because our connections to one another, even virtually, especially virtually, will enliven us, will strengthen us, and will keep us together. Healing through connection to each other, that is the greater Shalom Aleichem. So as we sing Shalom Aleichem now, know that this is the peace to you, each and every one of you in this moment. And that the greater Shalom Aleichem is peace to those you reach out to in the moments to come. May it be so as we sing this. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, hi ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, hi ya la 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 la. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ay ya la la, ay la la la, ay ya la la la, ay la la la. Barchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mi melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mi melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, hi ya la la, hi la la la, hi ya la la la, hi la la la, hi la 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 la. ay, ay, ay.